This is it. This could potentially be the greatest e-paper tablet of all time. The Tab Ultra by Onyx Boox features everything. Stereo speakers, USB-C, a Wacom note-taking layer, ultra-fast screen refresh, and even a 16 megapixel rear-facing camera to scan documents and convert text. Not only that, it has Android 11, out-of-the-box Google Play, you get a free Pen 2 Pro with purchase, and even, to our surprise, an SD card slot for expandable storage. An optional magnetic keyboard can even help you turn this into a full productivity laptop. This unit might as well not even be in the e-reader category at this point. I'm not going to say you just get a Pen 2 Pro, because the Pen 2 Pro is actually really nice. But yeah, you just get a Pen 2 Pro. They didn't actually do anything specifically different for the Tab Ultra. They just threw in a pen they already had. So the Pen 2 Pro has a press down at the back for an eraser. That's really nice. You don't have a secondary or tertiary button. You do have that kind of contrasting insignia as to where to snap it on the unit. And you just have the regular tips that everyone in the industry uses, from iFlyTech to iReader to Remarkable to MobiScribe and KingJim. Everyone uses these tips. Pretty good tips. Overall, it has a good weight. It is made out of metal. You don't need the thimble cap. They just give it to you during shipping. It's not really any kind of necessary part of the unit itself. It's a decent pen. It is very lightweight, but at the same time it is made out of aluminum. It does have a very good feel in your hand. Would have liked to see kind of a secondary button, but that eraser at the back is a definite level up over the Pen 2 Plus. This is not the regular case you get with the unit. That's a separate thing. The free case is not this one. This is the separate purchasable keyboard cover. This one is really nice because it has those copper contact pins that actually transmits information to the unit and allows you to use it as a typewriter. Something special of note, the one they sent us with this orange enter key is only for media and reviewers. You will not get that orange enter key when you buy it yourself. This case has some very strong magnets, and you'll see in a second when we plug it in there. And it also has a cutout for the camera bump, and it has a magnetic rail there and an origami fold, so you're able to actually snap in the unit. There's no setup or learning curve required. Just simply snap it in like that, bring the back up, and it automatically locates to where it needs to be to snap all together. Now, pay attention to the screen, because we didn't turn off the no more reminder, because there's a lot of things here. If you say, okay, these are the amount of shortcuts you're going to have, we're not going to go through them. This is too much stuff. Just simply look at that. You can do function 2 for warm light, function 3 for cold light, etc. It does take a lot of memorization and muscle memory to learn how to do all that. The keys don't click down quite as loud as a mechanical keyboard, but it is very satisfying to hear type, and they are very nicely kind of contoured in. They kind of bowl out so that it actually captures your finger when you touch each individual one. It's not a full keyboard in that you don't actually get a numpad, but that's neither here nor there. It would be far too big at that point if that was the case. All the keys are very nice. They're very high quality. It definitely was designed from them. It's not a cookie cutter white label. Yes, you can download any app you want, but for now, I think we are using something called Blaze. So it's just for an example. I'm not the best typist, but you will see that it's very quick. This is normal mode. This is not speed mode. It's unnecessary to go into A2 speed mode or X mode in order to do typing. It is totally up to you. This is a great keyboard, but it is sold separately, as we mentioned at the top end of the video. I can say for certain that scanning documents has never been easier on any paper device. What you would do is click New Scan. You name it whatever you want. Just click OK to get through that. Have your piece of paper on the table like that. Simply just hover it over the page like that. Line everything up. It's very simple. And then just press the middle to focus it. Press OK, and then simply click Next Step. After you go Next Step again, you got a bunch of options here. You can do Add Picture, you can change it to an actual photo to note, or a PDF. We're going to do something different. OCR. We're going to convert all the text. And look at that. Immediately, as it says right here, it's the exact same thing with the URL code and everything. From here, I can alter it, I can change it, I can long press, and it's never been easier to just take what you've converted, take a document scan, and send it anywhere. You can send it to your phone, you can send it to nearby devices, you can email it, you can send it to Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Line, WeChat, Amazon Kindle. It's so instant, it's so quick, it's so devoid of any learning curve. That was 3 easy steps and things that you already do on a daily basis with your camera phone. Well, looky here, everybody. We finally have a different UI. A lot of the Onyx products have been the same kind of UI with either that bar at the bottom or the bar on the side. This is an all new look, all new tablet, all new feel. So if you swipe down from the top, it's going to be your notifications. If you swipe down from the top right, this is where your new kind of control center is going to be. The top 2/3 are for your control center, which has been the same on the Leaf and the Nova Air 2, for example. And the bottom is going to be your front light. We're going to turn those off just for the review here. We'll get to it later, of course. You have screenshot, hand touch, on or off, EINK center, which is your most important thing. We'll show you that in a second. Rotate, screencast, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. You can edit to see what you want on there. You do get a couple pages of it as well, and you get your volume control because it has onboard audio. Now, as you touch this, it's going to move up and down because there is a massive camera bump on the top right corner here. So it's going to be always kind of wonky, but you're gonna always have this in the case because this is a very high quality tablet. You don't want this just sitting around like this. This is a nice pure surface here. We only use these devices in studio. We don't take them out into the field or anything like that. EINK Center is going to be your be-all end-all. This is where you have, and it's a little bit different this time. They used to call it normal, speed, A2, and X. Now they call it HD, balanced, fast, and ultra fast. So they're really upping the names basically. You do have your dark color enhancement and your light color filter, as well as app optimization. I'll clear the cache and all that. We'll show you these in a little bit, but these are what you're going to constantly be switching between. And ultra fast is, as they say, ultra fast. Now these are your apps in the middle. You'll get multiple screens of that, but you get an extra thing on this unit, and that is if you long press the center, you get desktop widgets. This is the first time Onyx had widgets right out of the gates. So we can choose notes, for example. We can go and choose search, and everything will be the appropriate amount of squares. So this will be 2x2, 3x2, etc. So there's a lot of different things you can do there. You can tidy it up as well, or you can go to desktop settings. Desktop settings is where you're going to have your different layouts. You can set your home screen to be different things, both the screen saver and the power off. You can choose, it's up to you entirely. And this brings us into the settings, which has a nice scrollable up and down on the left, and congruently it'll change on the right. So for example, if we go to display, it's going to change on the right. Now there is far too much to show you in just this video. There's subsections and tertiary sections, and it's just there's no possible way we can go through everything. But gestures is what we do want to show you. You can have the navigation bar at the bottom. You can do settings, refresh, multi-app, back, and home, kind of like a normal Android smartphone where you have all that stuff at the bottom. Or you can rely on the gestures, and that is if you go like that, for example, swipe up from the bottom, it'll take you back home. And there's different things you can do, like change the volume on the left and the glow light on the right. There's a lot you can do there. Now something very, very interesting. Recently, device manufacturers like Onyx and BIGME have had Google Play out of the box, and what that means is you click on it and it works. Look at that. You don't need to do anything. Of course, you need to sign in with your email and password, but after that, you're in. You don't have to do anything else. There's no GSFID registrations. There's no binding your books to a set of arbitrary serial numbers to get yourself into this. You are simply just in. So once you're in, you can download anything, because this has a gyroscope, accelerometer, a camera even. It has onboard audio. It has everything you're going to need. And it has Android 11, which is the latest possible version of Android anywhere in the world on ePaper. So that basically all those things come together and means that you can't not download anything. Every single thing that you're going to want to download, you will be able to. You might be asking, well, can I download this on an e-reader? The answer is yes. This isn't an e-reader. This is so far away from an e-reader at this point. This is a Android tablet with an e-paper screen. The screen display has nothing to do with the inherent nature of this unit. This is a tablet for all intents and purposes. Of course, manga looks great. In fact, this being a 10.3, it is far bigger than traditional manga, and it is actually more leaning towards the North American style comic books, you know, those flat ones you go looking through comic book stores in. This is more akin to that, so you don't have to worry about quality, you don't have to worry about speed, you don't have to worry about performance. This thing is so jam-packed with features that it's really going to hit all those metrics on the head. Now, Boox as well is just, it's overkill at this point. There's nothing we need to say about Boox. You can download any app you want. We are in the Amazon Kindle app. If you long press on something, if you change something, it's just all going to work. There's nothing that this device needs to do to overcome any barriers. It's all just here and ready to go. It has all the capabilities of showing animations, even on normal mode, or HD mode, I guess you could call it. It can do long presses, you can do notes, you can do different styles of highlighting. Of course, it doesn't have color, it only has shades of gray, so that is the little bit of a drawback. But really, there's not going to be anything in your way when it comes to consuming very light, easy to process media. To not give any e-reader or device an unfair advantage, we use the exact same PDF on every single unit. So right out of the gates, you can do note-taking, which is great. We're using the Pen 2 Pro, of course. You can swipe, you can change pages. Even in HD mode, this is fast. I mean, it really is an ultra-fast refresh as they advertise in their promotional information. It's very quick. Snapping this to the side for a second to get that out of the way, you can't pinch and zoom right away, but they did do something very useful. When you try to pinch and zoom, a prompt comes up, and you can say, yes, I want to pinch and zoom. Now it turns it on. And this was very interesting because before, it was actually buried all the way up here in the settings. If you go to settings, there's all these settings, and it's actually buried inside here to turn on pinch and zoom. I don't know why they did that. Pinch and zoom is very useful, and it's a very kind of inherent thing that we all do on a daily basis. We pinch and zoom things, so for them to remove that is just kind of silly. Now, the PDF itself is very high quality. It takes notes right away. It saves your notes from other PDFs, as you can see right there. If you want to pinch and zoom and then take notes, you can do that as well, and it actually gives you a very thin stroke, which is really cool because when you zoom out, it saves it as that thin stroke, so it actually gives you these hairlines that is not really able to achieve otherwise. It does have pressure sensitivity if you press hard, if you press light, which we're going to go into right now in the note-taking section. Onyx has a big problem in that there's actually too many features. At this point, this unit has just wall-to-wall everything, and it's not everything we can cover in one video. We're going to be doing a separate video. They're the only manufacturer to allow you to add pens. You can add 5 pens, really. So you can do, for example, brush, super dark gray with a thick line. Go over to this pen, customize it, and say, I want brush pen with a very thick line and a red. And then I go to this one and I want just a regular ballpoint with maybe another dark gray I want over here. This is going to be my pencil, super big. And finally, I'm going to choose highlighter in green. That was all very quick, and I made some mistakes. So as you write now, you can toggle between them as you see fit at the click of a button, literally. And no other manufacturer does that. Quaderno allows you to customize 2 pens. This one allows you to customize 5, and that changes the game. Because if you want to do something like shading, you go over there and you choose your pencil or your brush, or you choose your pen, and you just go in and out of them so quickly. It's insane. No other manufacturer does that. As I said, you do have that eraser on the back. You can switch it from stroke eraser to basically erase all. And then on the side, this is going to take about 16 hours to go through all this, but again, we'll just touch on these. You have layers. You get a bunch of different layers, including the template layer, and you can just keep adding them and adding them. Over here, you can look at your pages, and look, it goes up to 500 pages per book. That is staggering. That's a lot of pages, and all you need to do is click on next to start a new page. You don't actually have to go and create a new page down below. You can do canvas. Canvas is really cool because you can stretch it. For example, if I draw something here and I say, well, I want a little bit more height, well, I can go to 1x2, and now I've expanded it down. So now I can do that, and hide it and go up, and I'll know that that is right there, and I can always change that as well. I can change my canvas to 2x1, 2x2, or custom. I can just keep expanding and expanding outside of what the screen is actually capable of. I have shapes, and this is where it gets silly. If I want to make anything, the sky's the limit. I want to do a square, but I'm drafting right now, so I want to do a temporary blueprint square with a light gray. So I want these little dots there, so I don't have to actually do dots with my pen. I can now do circles and dark with these little binary Morse code little dots. I mean, that's just insane. It saves a lot of time, and it's a very simple thing that they did in the UI to allow you to do that. If I go back to my pencil here and I draw a really cool barn style house, well, I want to keep that. I'm going to go to my lasso tool right here. I'm going to lasso that right there, and I can move it around. I can stretch it, I can undo it, I can change the color, I can cut it, I can copy it, I can send it to where I want to go. A lot of different features. You can add text, you can insert different things as well, up to 200 MB. So I want to insert a picture. Sorry, I'm talking fast. There's a lot of stuff to go over. If I go over to pictures here, I can add our little Android guy. Press OK, stamp it on the page, click outside, go back, grab a pen, and start editing the Android guy. It's just so quick how you can go in between all these features. Very, very nice. You can turn off and on the touch, you can synchronize, you can add a page, and there's more. Full refresh, delete current page, share. You can share what you just did in the 3 minutes we've been doing this. You can just click on share and you can send it via any app you wish. First, you choose if I want to send it via a single page, and I go share. What's going to happen is going to export it, and then it's going to pop up with your apps. You can send it with anything: Facebook Messenger, Line, WhatsApp, Outlook, Hotmail, Gmail, anything you have installed. You can instantly send that to your email. You can send it to your phone via Bluetooth. It's very quick. Now, we left AI out because we're going to show you that right now. We're going to write something out with a ballpoint pen. That makes the most sense. I'm going to write my name and then click AI. Now, it's going to do a couple things here. If I click AI, it's going to do recognition, and I have some different recognitions down below. I can do original recognition or reflow. If I do original, it's going to actually put it with the characters right there in the center of the page. I can still do things with it, even if you choose original. I can change the font size, change the font style, whether I want USA or not, and I can share it again. The sharing is so instant on this. Whether I document scan, whether I take a note, whether I take a picture, I can share right out of the gates. They're really removing the idea that this is an e-reader, and they're just giving you that this is a tablet with an e-paper screen, and no more evident than the fact that everything's just integrated and completely open for you. The Google Play, the sharing options, the SD card, it really is just the way to go when you want a productivity device. I can take these, I can go back to my canvas. I mean, there's so much here that you'll have to check out our future video and stay tuned for that. Let's just look around ultra fast right now. So if you go up to here and then you click E-Ink Center, we're on normal HD. Now we're going to go over to ultra fast. What this does is heavily degrade everything. But how does it perform? Well, this is just going to be an unbridled look at it. So if we go over here, this is really how fast the thing is going to be. Everything is so quick and crisp, and we can just pop over to Google Play and everything is just so fast. I'm just talking over it, but really it speaks for itself. The fluidity and the fact that it's honestly not as bad of a viewable experience as it once was with other devices. I mean, it's hard to really say if it's better than X mode, but it kind of seems that it really is. As you go to these things, you'll just see it is flashing and it's overly trying to compensate to try to catch up. But with that, you do get a very quick experience. I mean, everything is so, it never really leaves you wanting for very long. As I look how snappy that is between things. This has to be the fastest Onyx product to date. I would argue that maybe the monitor with the 28 levels of speed mode on full blast would probably be better than this, but this is right up there. To be honest, it's just a formality at this point that we check out the glow lights. There's really nothing wrong anymore. Now, this is very blue, and that's because it's blue. But if we turn on the warm light, then things start to get nice and fancy. We can get some stone, we can get some nice white there, maybe turn down the blue, get some orange happening, and you can link them together. So it'll actually go alongside each other like that. So look at that. Look how pure white that is. That's very nice. There's no overexposed sections or anything like that. And the beauty about glow lights now is that they're just kind of built into a gel layer and they illuminate completely evenly across the screen. This is a very, very good experience. In fact, really the only complaint about the viewable surface to consume media with your eyes is that this device feels like the screen is very far away from the actual glass. It's hard to tell on camera, but there's a significant dip between the top of the glass and where the characters and actual part you see lays on top. It feels like it's very deep, but that kind of comes with the territory of having a flush screen and bezel, so it is a little bit of a trade-off, but all things considered, the glow light is phenomenal. The last attempt at crossing the barrier between e-reader and super tablet was with the Dasung Not e-reader. But comparing that to this, it's not even close. The Tab Ultra is, as it says, Ultra. It does everything and has everything. In fact, the only shortcoming is that it doesn't have a color screen. However, with its on-paper specs and real-world use case, it truly is all in one.